Hey guys, welcome to another episode. Today is our third video. We're going to talk about something very cool. Okay, before I bore you, please stay with me, okay? I'm going to reveal something really cool about upcoming movie from Pixar. Stay tuned. So, this is the concept. Remember last video? We talked about being a conduit of energy. Remember last video we talked about the concept of attraction? And there is no such thing as a gender. There's only polarity. You're looking for the other pole that you can transmit energy through. And that's the basis of relationships. But now let's talk about the meaning of life. Well, it's a little deep to challenge, I know it's early, but stick with me. We might discover something very interesting. So the concept is, I'm your radio, you're my tuner. Simple as that. Remember I told you it was easy, it was simple? So this is about relationships. I'm your radio, you're my tuner, and vice versa, right? So what happens? We broadcast. We are a radio. We have energy inside of us. Imagine a radio that has battery, and the battery of the radio is what broadcasts the energy. The energy is broadcasted, and that consumes the battery. And what energy is broadcasted? The energy of emotions. Hence, the color of the emotion creates the color of the pixel. You see? So we are a radio. The concept of the radio is just to make it visual, so we can. It's a little abstract. This whole thing is a little abstract, but stay with me, and it makes a lot of sense. So the radio gives off frequencies, right? Which we interpret as music. And the music has a code in itself because the radio is tuned to that station that gives off that code, that set of vibrations. You see, that energy pattern, that frequency. So when you interact with someone, anyone, that person can activate on us a certain vibration, a certain frequency. That's why when you interact with someone, anyone, you don't know if they're friends yet, because you don't know if they're able to tune your energy to a harmonious frequency that matches theirs. So they're tuning it to them, your energy, your emotional output. And you are tuning their energy, their emotional output, to what pleases you, so what you want to hear. And they are tuning you to what they want to hear. So that's why I said in the first video, what you are seeking is seeking you. Because the polarities from the second video want to transmit the message. And in this video, we're going to talk about what the message is, which is the reason, right? Is that transmission of energy. So in my second video, we explore that, and I said that the transmission of energy is the most intense during sexual intercourse or in the pursuit of like extreme sports. However, that's just the intensity of the broadcast. You see? All the time we're giving off the energy, our energy, which for that day is finite because that is our refresh rate. So you have this much energy in the beginning of the day and you use it all day long until you reach the end of the day. You have no energy left. What do? You sleep. And during sleep, you recharge your energy for the next day, which is the flicker rate from the pixel. And the pixel during the day consumes the energy that you have according to the emotion that you're feeling and the intensity of the emotion that you're feeling. So that energy is being consumed at a rate. The biggest chunk of the battery that gets used is during sexual intercourse. You see? Because that is the most intense transmission of the energy that's in store of the battery, which is us. Remember I said in the first video, many similarities to the Matrix, right? Because we are the power source, we are the fuel cells of the entire simulation, which is us. Stay with me. So the intensity of your emotion is what it gets transmitted to the universe, back from where you got the energy from during the night. You see? So the intensity of the broadcast, you see, and the method of the broadcast. There are many methods for you to broadcast energy. I didn't imply, well, maybe it did imply that the fastest rate is through sex. But there are many other ways. And why is the fastest way through sex? Well, think about it. After the act of sex, you have no energy. You're done. Most just fall asleep. Others can go by with their day, but they're not going to run a marathon. You know? They're not going to wage war. And if they aren't, it's because they still have energy. So this is about energy transmission. Our energy transmission to the source, to what we power, the simulation. So the simulation can happen for us, which the simulation is us. And all that is simulated. So we are powering the entire universe as we know it. Not just us, you see? So, with me so far? When you are alone, the moment you wake up, you are broadcasting that energy. Your battery is being consumed. It's like you took it out of the plug. You took your phone out of the plug. Some people, they choose to go to nature. And they share that energy with the universe. You can share your energy just by being, just by existing. You share that energy back to the universe. You see? So you are feeling emotions always. And that emotion is what you're broadcasting. So let's say you took the day to just walk in nature, or you took the day just to paint. You put a canvas in your living room, and that's what you're doing for hours. You're painting. But you're not just painting. You are sharing that energy with the universe. After a whole day of painting, after a whole day of doing that which you love, that which gives you pleasure, that which gives your energy emotion, you need to sleep because you have been depleted of your energy. And there are many ways to do it. Like I said, everything that you seek is a way of sharing your energy, expressing your energy, and getting your energy back to source. Okay. So here's where it gets interesting. That energy that you're sharing is the message. What message? So Remember, we're conduits. Imagine a huge cable that's looking for its polar opposite, so it could lock connection and transmit data. And our energy is the data. When we sleep, we recharge, we actually download the energy that we're supposed to transmit in the next day. You see? So, what is the message? You said it was just energy. Yeah, but we know that energy carries information. How does a computer work? You see? Energy transmits information. So like us. Remember on the second video I talked about the computing power of all those vertex points that are server rooms with the computational power? That is what's processing and creating the matrix. So the information that we broadcast is a part of needs to be broadcasted. The information. But wait. What exactly are we transmitting through our emotions, through the code that we carry? You see, there's another concept of the code that we carry. It's like this, and it goes back to the tuning of the radio. So when someone's tuning your radio, they're tuning your frequency for the transmission to happen between the two of you. You see, because you can do it alone by yourself, or you can do it between two people. Interaction. That's why you're so exhausted when you go to a fair. There's like 500 people there. Because everybody's trying to tune the energy of everybody else to be harmonious and to broadcast better. That's why when you're in a room with two more people, you create what it's known as the mastermind. It's that energy that's created. It's that harmony that's created. That's why when you go to congresses, you know, you're so drained, or you're so enthusiastic, you're so recharged because the energy has been aligned through you to flow, and it feels good. Feels good. Feels weird. There's a lot. Feels really good. So you see, that happens between couples too, partners. It doesn't matter the polarity. They know how to tune you so you can output the most energy. Think about it, especially during sex. You know how to please your partner because that's what you're seeking. You're seeking to please your partner. We are actually seeking to tune your partner so your partner can broadcast the most energy. And now I'm talking to guys here. You understand what I'm talking about. You're tuning her. I'm just talking about a male and female couple, okay? Because it doesn't really matter the polarity. You're doing all this without knowing. So you're tuning that other person so they can produce the max output of energy. So you can transmit the data, so you can transmit the information that you need to transmit through you. But that person is helping you. That's why I consume such a big chunk of the battery. That's why when you do it right, with the right intensity, for the right duration, you're completely drained after the act. Because you get there. And you see? So, I say I was going to tell you about the message, but let's think about who knows what we're transmitting with our energy, you know? Yes, it's our emotions and all, but that carries a code, you see? And back to the code. So each person has a different code, but their code could be congruent with your code. There can be, let's talk about percentage of kismet, percentage of how much of this person links to me. in relationships, that the sexual attraction, how much of that person links to me in a visceral level. That person has something that I'm seeking, and you have something that that person is seeking also, you see? So the congruence and the concordance of that code with your code in percentage terms is what creates the connection and allows the connection to happen. And that's very obvious when you're in the street and you see someone for a second, or a person does something, cuts you off in traffic or whatever for a second. He tunes your energy in that second, and energy flows through you, and energy flows through him too, to that other person. In that split second, you both are sharing energies, and it could be a red energy from the lower part of the vibrational scale, but it doesn't matter, it's the intensity. So if a person makes you feel really angry, and that person feels really angry, it's like a spark, and the energy gets consumed, you see. And then it takes some time for you to actually get out of that angerness that you were feeling, because the transmission was an instant. Imagine like a weld. You're welding. When you're welding something, when the welder is welding something, there's energy that's being transmitted. That's why the weld happens. So the weld generates the spark because the energy is being transmitted at such an intense rate that it fuses both metals. And then that information there takes some time to, you never touch a weld after you weld it, because what? It's hot. That's why it takes some time for you to snap out of an emotion. Like, say somebody cuts in traffic and it flips you out of your mind and you go like crazy. That's why road rage happens, because they tuned each other to that frequency, because they need that energy expressed somehow. You see? So instead of expressing that energy with road rage, you can express that energy with your partner, giving them pleasure. Doesn't really matter. It's your choice. What would you choose? Make peace or make war? It's all energy transmission. And that's the meaning of life. You see, we're transmitters of energy. And for us, in the know, you know what I want to talk about. You know what I'm talking about now, what I'm going to say. What message are we transmitting? Well, maybe it's the only way our pixel, created through our emotions, creates that light in that pixel, because of our emotions, and because our light in that emotion, that pixel, that is us, it's transmitting that energy, and that energy has a code, and maybe that pixel lights up a screen, a cosmic screen that is gone, and maybe that energy is the message that's being shown to God, much like the message that the pixels now in your screen are illuminating in such a way to convey you this image that you're seeing now. So, and who knows? Maybe the message that is being written is the pixel on the corner of the letter R on a canvas, on a paper, or the letter U on a piece of paper, on a flickering on a computer screen. That U is flickering on your web. There's a pixel there, and that's you shining. I know, imagine it's all colorful. It will be a very colorful text, because if each pixel has a different color and they're all uniformly creating that letter U, each pixel matters, because they create the pixel of the letter U, of the word unity, of the word unison, of the word universe that God is reading. We are the pixels on the screen that God is reading. And who knows, maybe the message that's being transmitted is the plans. We are all transmitting this information through Scarif, from Scarif. And the only way that we can go past the deflector shield in this segment of the universe that we live in. The Corvette was never summoned for action and never took down the shield. And the only way that we can transmit this energy to the other side is through us, and we're carrying the code of the plans, pixel by pixel. Some of you got this, some of you didn't, but that doesn't matter. Okay, now here's my promise. The upcoming Pixar movie. It's about the meaning of life. It's a little radio, an old radio that gives off music freely because it connects to station. It only connects to stations when somebody tunes it to. And that radio has a battery. And every day he can play his music and consume his battery, that at night when it's off, it recharges itself. And every day it broadcasts that music according to what's being tuned of him. And then every day, if he goes to sleep and that energy is not completely depleted, the radio kind of loses a piece, a crumb of its body. It's a wooden radio. I'm having the image of the clock from the Beauty and the Beast, the wooden clock, but imagine that's a radio. So every time that radio goes to sleep and there's like half energy left, that is a little chunk of the radio that gets lost or disappears. And every day that radio can get tuned and broadcast its music to the person who tuned it to their pleasing, so they both can be happy. The tuner and the frequency that's generated creates happiness, which creates emotion, which creates the flow. And the meaning of life is that we give off that energy, but by giving off that energy, we lose a little piece of ourselves. You see? And every day we recharge, but every day we lose a little piece of ourselves. And then by the end, we have less energy. And we can still broadcast, but it's going to be less intensity, less volume. And we're missing more pieces and more pieces and more pieces. Up until one point, we have no more energy left to share, and no more pieces left. We disappear. Because all our energy has gone, has been shared. So if you approach life like that and understand, and when you get to someone in their deathbed, you understand that they have shared their energy. They have lived, and that energy has gone back to the source. You see, that is beautiful. You'll never think of death the same way once you understand that that person has shared enough energy of itself that itself has disappeared. And the beautiful scene from the Matrix, from Star Wars, that Yoda disappears into the Force, simply is gone, becomes the Force. because in that moment, it decided to just give all the energy back to the source. Same thing happened with Uruguay. Beautiful images, beautiful explanations of the truth, that we're conduits. The meaning of life is to share your energy, and the method you do it is through your emotions. And that's the movie. That's the upcoming movie of Pixar. I don't know if they're making it yet, but I think they should. And they should give me royalties because that's my idea. Okay, so that's it for today. I'll see you next time, and I love you. I love you. In case you're wondering what I hold in my neck here, this is a I-Ching instrument. It's a balancing card. I don't know if you can see it. This one right now is a little wonder. Oops. This is the three little mini wonder. And I'm going to post a link in the description about what this card does. It actually balances your energy so you can have purity in the signal that you're transmitting, purity in the signal that you are broadcasting. So you can have your intensity back, and you can have control over your emotions. And speaking of control over your emotions, this is what I was getting at. Remember in the first video, I talked about the project, and I asked for volunteers, for visionaries to donate to my project, the project of the Church of the Simulation of God. Is beautiful, and I need your help with it. And it kind of works like this. I'm trying to create what is the image that we're collectively creating through our emotions. It's going to be beautiful, but I need your help. This is going to be big, and it might change the world. And if you're listening to this, if you made it this far, it's weird. You don't know what this crazy guy is talking about. He looks like a loopy lunatic, but something he's saying makes sense. Something he's saying resonates, and you know it, because the church doesn't recruit anybody. We don't have to. I don't even have. I can't even call it we. The Church of the Simulation of God doesn't need to recruit anyone because everyone is a part of it. You see? And all you have to do is be here. You're already part of it. So there's no membership, there's no due, there's no fees, there's no interest, there's no agenda, there is no. It's just information, it's just a point of view. You know, like the Oracle told Neo, either you choose to accept it or you don't. Whatever you do doesn't matter, because it's not going to change anything. Morpheus says, you know, my beliefs do not require them to. Not everyone believes what you believe. And Morpheus says, well, my beliefs do not require them to. Because he's probably, you know, a member of the Church of the Simulation of God. You see? So, thank you. If you made it this far, you're brave. Please consider donating to the project. The link is in my page. This is a big project. It's a beautiful project. Let's create the image collectively. The image of what we're broadcasting to God. The image of us, mankind, everyone together. We're going to have a website. I'm going to explain more details. We're going to have a membership so we can share more information about the project to the visionaries and the people who choose to collaborate. That should be coming up. Okay. Thank you very much. I love you again. I love you more.